go again. Alright, hello everybody.
Hello!
Are we all dead?
Yes.
Alright, fair
We
enough.
all died. We all died.
Well, I think we can jump pretty straightforward into how was your trip, James?
My trip? It was
Yes.
okay.
Looks like you did a lot of fun stuff.
Let's see, we went to Legoland, Kennedy Space Center, Gatorland. We went to a Magic Theater. We went to Ripley's Believe It or Not. We went to
Were you
Wax
gone for like a
Museum.
month?
No, it's just a week.
They smash a lot of stuff into a very short period of time. They're very efficient with time.
The Wax Museum, an aquarium. We rode on the largest Ferris wheel on the East Coast. And then we went to like a science indoor theme park arcade thing.
But it was only okay. Are you talking?
Yeah, I was talking.
What'd you say?
I don't know, what did it stop at?
I said, was it only okay? And then I just saw your mouth moving.
Oh, it was okay. He enjoyed it, that's all that was important.
No, at least there was that. So, let's talk about what Harcourt has been doing in the meantime. So,
Probably something he wasn't supposed to.
the rest of the party was busy with some other stuff. In the meantime, what would Harcourt have been doing shortly after the events that transpired in the last time Harcourt was with the group? Was back at his apartment, discovering that he remembered the name of Kandor Rasivan.
How much time has passed?
Not much for you. We're gonna take right up from where you remember that point.
Oh, well, hell. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to get a message to Kandor with this arrow without shooting it through his face.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming this is what the bow is designed to do.
The bow will always go to wherever its intended target is.
So, yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to fire the bow without killing Kandor. Of course, at this point, I'm not sure if Kandor's somewhere else. I know Kandor was somewhere else before I met him. So I'm not exactly sure where Kandor is, because the last time the arrow showed me, it brought me to an area with no buildings.
Well, that was as far as you were able to follow it.
Right. He's been debating whether or not just to tie a note on it and just fire it off and see what happens. Fortunately, then being arrested for murder, so usually doesn't work out well. Other than that, I really can't think of what Harcourt would have been doing, because now he has that conundrum, because what he really wants now is to speak to Kandor.
Okay.
Apparently pulled everything out of the book I need and have everything I need. I now have to take a gamble.
Well, what are some of Harcourt's initial thoughts on what the bow does, just to make sure Harcourt's mind is kind of in the right place with regard to the bow, and to make sure I'm filling in anything that you might have misunderstood.
Okay, so from what I understood from what the druids told us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. What they told us is that the bow listens, the arrow seeks its target.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just fire the arrow while thinking of the individual, after saying the individual's full name out loud, the arrow will go directly to that target and strike that target.
Correct.
So I'm assuming...
Well, it will go as far as it can to that target. and it will be as unerring as possible. Now, it is still a material object, so it is still subject, you'd believe at least, to the rules of material objects. So if Candor is per se in a building, then it will have to find some way into that building, if what the druids say is correct.
Of course, then the other thought is, how do I follow it?
Mm-hmm.
How do I follow an arrow that doesn't actually hit its target? How do I do that? Tie a rope to it? No. How much string do you have to tie to it and still make it functional? 500 yards is a long bow, so that's a lot of string.
Well, is there any way that you think maybe you could test this? Maybe you could use a more localized subject that you know might be able to withstand the impalement of an arrow.
Oh, I can think of a half-orc I know that might be able to take it.
That might also punch you in the face.
I'm just saying, hey, at least then it would justify being punched.
Well, you do know that as it stands right now, you could, if you're in a room that's closed, you have a window behind you that does seal. You have a door in front of you that does close. So if at least the druids are correct, and it will fly as unerringly as it can towards its target, it's likely not going to leave the room, unless maybe you fire it directly at the window with your full force. And even then, it probably would not break the window. You assume. Again, this would be
right. Yeah.
Potentially guesstimating.
The room didn't look very big, so shooting an arrow in a room is redundant because it won't be able to turn.
Possibly.
It would strike a wall before it makes the turn.
So maybe there's a bigger room that you could try this out in. Maybe one that you've recently cleaned out, that you know has not a lot of activity going on in it.
The temple thing, right? Underneath the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose I could do that. That makes sense. Yeah, it sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Go over there to go give that a try.
Okay. So what's the setup that you're going to use to try to attempt this? And who are you going to declare as your target?
Let's see. That's in a basement that came down the stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like a squarish room.
Yes. Both the upper floor and the basement floor were both a more squarish room. In fact, I think I've still got the room up. I do indeed.
You see.
So I will move you to that map. I'll actually just move everybody to that map so they can see as well. And we'll clear out all the things that don't need to be here.
So the basement the same size as that?
The basement is the exact same size, yes.
The basement is that size. The stairs are the lower left.
Correct.
Right? Where was the exit to the street?
There's one, the exit to the street is to the back here. I'll draw that off here. The exit was here.
I didn't see anything.
There's a purple line here. I'll line it up this way. Sorry, can you see it now?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Okay, so there's the exit. So there. So I have to close those two off to keep the arrow from getting out.
Correct.
Rather not shoot it at a person.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you want to test whether or not it works on on objects and not people?
Yeah, let's try that. I'm gonna pull out a card, one of my deck of cards.
Okay.
I'll pull out the Ace of Spades,
Mm-hmm.
and I will just set it up on the far side of the room.
Okay.
And facing away from it.
Mm-hmm.
will draw the bow off. I'm not going to give a full draw, so I'm not getting. So this thing ain't going to go 500 yards. It can only go short amount of distance, and fire it off while calling off the ace of spades.
Okay. You fire off the bow, and the bow turns, goes up the stairs, and hits the door, and you hear it hit the door upstairs.
So it didn't. The ace of spades is the room downstairs. It was downstairs with me.
The ace of spades was in the room downstairs with you.
Right. But the arrow went up the stairs.
Yes.
That's not working, or it's heading towards another thing called the ace of spades.
Whoa, we have Charles. Unexpected Charles.
I'm gonna go retrieve the
Let me-
arrow.
Okay, one sec. Let me fix the displays here real quick.
Am I on?
You are indeed. I was not expecting you. Was everything okay?
Yeah, they all quit.
Whoa, what?
3 people quit in the space of 1 week.
Yeah, and I thought that was why you were going to have to be there.
Now they're just gonna leave us without people because we're dysfunctional.
I guess practical solutions or impractical problems require impractical solutions. The company's new motto.
Yeah, I think so. Hold on a second.
Sorry, I need to change the displays real quick. Hardcore, let me know if you come up with any new ideas while I'm doing these edits. I can answer questions as they appear. So. I just did not do the proper editing for this display setting. So I need this to be above. What? Just
There's something else out there called the ace of spades, which means there's probably a magic item somewhere called the ace of spades.
well, you know it operates on names now. That I think you're pulling a good theory there that it operates on names. What if you were to name something?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Name something. Seems kind of silly to name the. All right, let's try that. I've got multiple decks of cards. I have ones with dagger backs, wine bottle backs, and then my straight deck of cards.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Really weird.
concentrating on my deck of cards,
Okay.
I'm going to tell my deck of cards that its name is let's see. What do I call a deck of cards? So something else.
This is a very serious decision now.
Yes, it is, because I don't want it to be misconstrued. To tell my deck of cards its name is the 52 Nimrod.
Okay.
52 Nimrods, I am going to set you right here. 52 Nimrods, you will wait for at this exact spot. 52 Nimrods, something is coming for you. Please wait, do not leave. Set the cards down across the room for me. Take a few steps away, face away, pull, draw, fire.
Okay. And as you do, the arrow fires forward, turns, rotates around you, and then lands in your deck of cards.
All right. 52 Nimrods are now dead. Lovely. Okay, so we know that works. All right, I'm going to take the arrow out of the deck for a moment.
Okay.
Set the deck there again. This time, I'm going to try something.
Yes.
Again, move away. This time I'm going to tell the arrow to the right of the 52 Nimrods. And I'm going to draw and fire.
Okay. It will still land in the... it will actually drop to the ground.
So it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
Okay. So it has to be. Needs to be. God. Track this thing. All right. Take out my my silk rope. I need string, not rope. Rope's too heavy. Or would it be too heavy?
Only one way to find out, right?
Yeah. All right. I have 50 feet of silk rope.
Okay.
It should be lighter weight than regular rope anyways. I'm going to tie one end to my leg. Doesn't go anywhere. Hopefully it doesn't yank me off my feet. Tie one end to the arrow.
Okay.
I'm going to go upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
leaving the deck downstairs. I'm assuming now I should be more than 50 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I will fire the, tell its name, 52 Nimrods, and fire.
Okay. Give me an attack roll. This is really just to make sure that...
I'm looking for dice at this point. I don't know what it's doing. Okay, hang on.
This is just to make sure that you can actually fire it. Because trying to pull back an arrow that you've got a rope tied to, the rope is actually now the biggest thing bothering you. So this is going to be at a -4. You just need to hit 10.
You want me to just use a base attack roll?
No. Give me an attack roll. Give me a ranged attack roll. You should have that on your character sheet.
Oh, there it is. Bam. Got it.
Yep, and then we'll subtract 4 from it. Okay, so yeah, you fire it, and it's a little weird because the rope kind of hits against the bowstring, but you kind of ready yourself for that. But it then like kind of curves around, and then you feel it. It goes all the way until it hits your leg. You are more than 50 feet, so it is still pulling against the rope. How long are you going to stay where you're at?
I'm going to follow the rope and see what happens.
Okay. So as you follow the rope,
taking up the slack as I go.
Okay, so you're gonna try to pull against it.
Yeah, not pull it backwards, but so I can maintain the tension.
Okay. Let's see how long that takes you to move. So let's say you're here at the door. I think you said is where you were, right?
Yeah, that's good enough.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 5, 10. So, yeah, you got lots of room here. So you actually will watch it. It's like hovering above the stairs. And as you start pulling yourself towards it, you get about 30 feet, and then the arrow drops.
So, after 20 seconds, it's going to just hit the floor no matter what.
No, not that long. So that would be 3 seconds, roughly.
Oh, 3 seconds.
Right, remember the 6 seconds in a round.
So if it doesn't strike its target within... If I hold it back for too long, it'll just drop.
Yes, that does seem to be the case.
Do the rope. I need at least 100 yards of rope. A string would be way too long. I need to find string. I need like 50 feet of string now, or 100 feet of string.
Okay.
I gotta go farther than 50.
Okay, so you can easily do that. You can give me a perception, and let's see if you can find it around the shop here, or really how long it takes you to find it, because there's a lot of stuff still here. Most of the mundane stuff was kind of looked over. So yeah, after about a half hour, you'll be able to find some string lying about.
Okay. Again, same effect. Tying the string to my body in some way, and then tying the other end to the arrow. Testing it again on the deck of cards to make sure this is going to function like I think it is.
Yep. And then 5, 10, 15, 20. Well, let's do it. 5, 15, 30, 45, 50, 5, 60, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. So you can feel it tugging against you, and you're going to follow along with it.
Yep.
All right, and as you get about 20 feet forward, you can feel it thud into something.
Okay. Go all the way down and see where it is.
Yep, it is in the deck of cards.
Okay. So after 100, it wasn't okay.
Yeah. So after 100 feet, you basically walk 20 feet forward. You had 120 feet between you and the object. You walked 20 feet forward.
Feet forward and let the string go forward. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Now here's an interesting test. I'm going to give it about 10 feet of slack.
Okay.
And then tie that off. It's only I'm at 20 feet of slack. I give the string about 20 feet of slack. Then I'm going to go back upstairs and fire it and see if I can walk with the arrow so I can actually watch.
Oh, this is a rather talented thing that you want to try to do. So give me an attack roll at, I believe it's like a minus 12 to attack and walk at the same time. If you were trying to do it without, like...
No, I'm going to fire it so it's only on 20 feet of string.
Okay, and then you're going to walk behind it.
And then I'll just walk behind it.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
As quickly as I can, obviously, before it hits.
Give me an attack roll here still. And where are you tying off the string?
Let's say I'm tying it around my waist.
Okay, so you tie this around your waist, and you can feel it tug, and you can follow it behind it for about 30 feet, and then it will drop back down.
So it goes out 20 feet, and I wind up walking all the way to the stairs then?
Yep.
Okay, so it is. So if I tie it to it, I should be able to follow along behind this.
Yeah, you'll still have to fire it periodically, but it looks like you've got a strategy that at least lets you keep within relatively close proximity.
Okay, so now I just need to fire it in public without getting arrested. This will be fun. All right, time to go back to that area where it last led.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to look around to see if I can see anybody watching me, I guess.
Okay.
Particularly guards.
Yep, give me a perception. You're pretty sure you're not being watched?
Okay. Facing in the direction the last time it went.
Mm-hmm.
Believe was... Do you have the map?
Yes. I will bring that back up, because you are now out of here.
Which was... near the library, right?
That is correct. You were last near the library in a small park. And it was actually moving you away from the library previously.
Away from the library.
Yes.
So west? Was it west or north?
To the east. You were to the west. You were to the east of the library, and it was moving you away from the library to the east.
Okay. So towards Dryad area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So again, tying it off, make sure everything's secured so it doesn't pull away from it, and let it go.
Okay. You fire it, and you're able to follow along with it. With each of these. So you also need to keep in mind some way to not have this look terrifying to people, because you pull back a bow and you fire it, and after a few of these you're going to start grabbing some attention of people. Give me either a stealth...
I'm gonna just do the one first.
Okay, so you can do the one, and yeah, it will pull you forward a little. Actually, hang on a sec, I need to check one thing. There's a very limited chance
breaking the string.
Nope. You are fine. So it starts pulling you forward.
Okay. So now at a longer length, I should have a more defined direction.
Yes. So it is continuing to move you somewhat northeastward.
Eastward. Towards the Ministry of Trade?
Towards the Ministry of Trade building.
South of it? North of it?
It's a little hard to tell from here about whereabouts you'll end up. Because you're not, again, you only fired it once and you only fired it at about 20 feet. So you've just barely reached about the edge of the park.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna unravel it so it gets its full 100. I'm assuming I have 100 feet.
Yes.
Okay. Unravel it so it has its full 100 feet this time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we'll let double checking, make sure guards have moved into the area.
Yep. Give me another perception. Oh yeah, everything looks fine. Everything looks perfectly fine.
Everything looks great. It's easy. No problem. Nothing looks like it's changed. And same direction it was going, and
You're gonna fire it straight forward?
I'm gonna slightly upward.
Damn.
So it's into the air. So I'm not flying.
Because
Hey, hi, bud. What's up?
it can still hit random passersby, so it's hoping you might. Yeah, so you fire it again, and up it goes, and it starts to, it gets to about the point where, obviously, your force stops controlling it, and it takes over control, and it starts kind of moving a bit downwards and forwards. But it gets about to about its length, and you can follow behind it the extra 30 feet, and then it will drop. And it looks now at this point, as you get a little closer, I'm going to actually kind of shrink down. Your mini here, and we're going to kind of move you in line here. So you're moving basically very small amounts at a time. So you're here. So you're still a little unsure at this point whether or not this thing is gonna fly directly into the Ministry of Trade building or not.
Well, here's what I want to do. I want to go well past. What is this road? This is a road, right?
All of a sudden, my Roll20 just started spiraling on me, so I don't know where you just clicked. Try it again.
I didn't click it.
Okay.
The
You need to hold down left click to show me where you're aiming.
there.
Where I just clicked?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can go to that road.
Okay, because that's well beyond where the ministry is, and I'm gonna try and face back towards the ministry. Fire it that way and see if it goes back towards the mirror.
Okay.
Keeps heading.
It actually.
I gotta check perception. Whoa! I gotta check a perception because there's no guards around.
Yep.
This should fail horribly.
Okay. And then you fire everything seems okay. You fire the arrow, and you go up, and then it goes a little bit northwest.
Now it's heading back towards Goblin territory.
Yeah, because you've come all the way over here to where the road is, right? So now you've potentially moved past where it's intending to go.
That's what I was trying to do. Okay, so now it's going up and northwest.
Yes.
So
Well, you're thinking for a sec. I'll be right back.
okay. This way. That's the road. It's heading this way.
All right, continue.
All right, so I'm going to head over toward the road where the metallurgy is, or what metallurgist is.
Okay.
All right. And I will check for guards again.
Mm-hmm.
That's horrible.
Yeah, there's totally no guards.
Totally no. There's nobody watching me.
Absolutely not.
Okay, and give it a fire off. See which way it goes.
Okay, so you fire it, and it is going southeastward.
So now it's heading south.
You have attracted a number of goblins who are now interested in what you're doing. And they are now following you.
Oh, right. 'Cause I got-
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Because that
going
wonderful
to-
perception you got there.
Yeah, I'm gonna ignore them.
Okay.
I'm packing up the bow and the arrow,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to head down towards the ministry.
Okay. They're like yelling at you in Goblin to try to get your attention, and you're just walking by.
Yep,
And
I'm
after
just gonna,
after a little while, like most children do, they finally like wander away. Very disappointed. Okay, so you head down to the ministry building?
yeah. So now I should have, because somewhere between that road, so the west of the ministry, it was heading past the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Past the ministry, it was heading past metallurgy. From the metallurgy place, it was heading down past there. So it's got to be somewhere near the Ministry of Trade. Oh my God. Hey, here's an idea. Let's go fire a weapon near a municipal building. All in favor of getting arrested?
The party never saw Candor again. Or Harcourt again.
Right. So, I would like to get... This is going to be really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
About 300 feet due north of the Ministry of Trade.
Okay.
So I want to be north of the Ministry of Trade, at least 300 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here.
Yep, easily doable. You're on a small street just north of where the Ministry of Trade building is.
Okay. Crappy perception roll. checking for people who might be paying attention.
You do notice that there are people that could see you, but you also notice there's an alley that you could duck behind.
Okay, which would still put me due north of the Ministry.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. I will go down into that alley,
Okay.
and I will fire the bow due south.
Okay. You fire the bow, and you go about 120 feet, and it goes like basically almost right down the alley.
So it's heading straight
About 130 feet between where the Ministry of Trade building is in this alleyway.
Okay. Now I'm going to go. Let's go east of the ministry. So I am due east of the ministry, about at least 300 feet.
Sure.
And time for another crappy perception roll. See if I can find an alley to hide in again.
Oh no, you there's nobody on the road. You're good. So you can just fire that straight ahead.
There's nobody looking at all. Okay. As he holds his breath and fires it due west.
And you do so, and the arrow flies straight towards the ministry building, 130 feet.
Stops. It's in ministry. All right, that eliminates south. That eliminates east. One more direction. I'm going to head, so I'm on the west side of the ministry building. Time for a crappy roll. Only kind I do. That sounded horrible. Oh no, that was a good one.
No, that's very good. So you're south now, you said, correct?
No, I'm west.
Oh, okay. You went west of the ministry building.
I'm west of the ministry, 300 feet west of the ministry building.
It pulls straight towards the ministry building. And you managed to find an alleyway, and you managed to follow down that alley.
Okay, so it's inside the ministry. Hey, what's better than firing a weapon at a municipal building? Firing a weapon inside a municipal building! I'm gonna pack up the bow, and
Okay.
I'm gonna go up to the front, go into the Ministry of Trade.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's some sort of front desk.
There is indeed.
There is.
In fact, there is a very long line here inside of the Ministry of Trade.
Very very long line. This, I'm assuming, just to speak to the information people that would be at the front desk that then point you to the correct positions to stand in yet another line.
You do understand how things work really well here in Akunsaunt, apparently.
It's amazing. It's almost like I've been here before. I will. So there's a long line. How many people?
There are... Oh, this could be a lot to a few. Let's see. Let's roll all of these. Let's see how many we got today. Oh, God. 10, 17, 24.
4 people in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Fairly busy day here.
Yeah, it is. I am unfortunately going to go the boring route and decide to.
And decide to wait, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna wait for at least 15 minutes
Okay.
before I try something else.
Okay.
How far does that get me?
In about 15 minutes, are you waiting in line or you're just waiting to see what people do here?
No, I'm gonna wait in the line so I can talk information.
Okay. After about 15 minutes, they'll get through about 7 people.
7 people.
Yes.
Okay. Becoming mildly annoyed at waiting, I am going to pull out another one of my deck of cards and tap the gentleman on the shoulder in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to take and convince. First thing I have to do is I have to bluff my way into explaining what a fabulous magician I am.
Okay.
And I have a proposition for him that if he can choose a card, and I can show him a trick that he's impressed with by choosing the correct card, would he be willing to let me take his place in line?
Okay. He asks what he gets if he wins.
How much gold do I get? Wait. They're gold. How does 5 gold sound to you?
Oh my, 5 gold, are you kidding me?
But you have to pick the right card, and I can't get, and I have to fail at guessing it. If I fail at guessing it, I give you 5 gold, and we don't change position.
I mean,
I guess it correctly. You and I just swap positions and go on with our life.
Ooh, but what if you just give me the 5 gold?
Would you change positions with me?
I would leave the line.
You
Everything
would
I
leave
need.
the line.
Yeah, my dispute is over a couple of silvers. If you got 5
Oh,
gold,
how many silvers is it?
no, I want this 5 gold. You have 5
You
gold
want
that
the
you're
5
just willing to
gold.
give up.
Then you know what? I like that idea. Here's 5 gold.
Excellent. And yeah, he leaves the line immediately.
Okay.
He leaves the building.
All right. I walk up to the next person. I give him the same spiel, except this time I am only offering a gold.
Okay, you can get through doing this. Let's see, there are 24, we said 24 minus 7, so that's 17, 16. You can clear out the rest of the line, giving them about, you said 1 gold apiece?
Yeah.
Alright, so pay off the remaining, we'll say 15, because one of the people will finish up in line by the time you finish doing this.
All right. So subtract 20 gold. Got it. Okay. That's easily workable. Now I'm up front to the front of the line.
You are now
Yes.
at the front of the line.
Okay. So I can talk to the information person.
Yes.
Okay. This is 20 gold to get 1 answer, and this is not going to be what I want to hear.
You don't know that
Yes.
necessarily.
Oh yeah, it's going to be such a stupid and straightforward question. Walk up and ask the person behind the desk that if a Kandor Razavant is either working or is located in the building.
A who? What? A what?
Kandor Razavant.
This is. Are you just muttering words? Is that your thing?
No, this is someone's name.
Where are you getting that we would have this person? Got no person on record by that
I
name.
have information that has led me to this location, and I have reason to believe he either works here, is living here, or is hiding out.
No one would be able to live here or hide here, we assure you. Perhaps you're at the wrong address. You do know this is the Ministry of Trade building, right?
Yes.
This is not an apartment complex.
I am fully aware, so I am wondering.
Maybe the person is like next door or behind us. We have very similar addresses.
You don't have anybody by that name working here.
We do not have anyone here working by that name. Perhaps whoever you're looking for is close. Maybe maybe you just got their address wrong. They could just be a building up or down or left or right.
It could be. As an office of trade, or the Ministry of Trade, you don't have any conference rooms for rent, do you?
Certainly. You wish to hold a conference? We do have some available right now if you'd like.
Yes, I would.
What size?
The largest conference room you have.
How long would you like it?
I need at least an hour.
Certainly. We can do that for you for about 5 gold.
I can handle that. Thank you much.
Thank you. They have you fill out some paperwork. And they will then give you access to the conference room.
All right. Okay, closing the doors, locking them up, making sure nobody can come into the room but me. Making sure there are no other exits the arrow can pass. I'm assuming the room is smaller than 100 by 100.
That is correct.
Okay, so I will shorten the rope.
This is probably about like a 25 by 25 room.
Okay, so I will shorten the string back down to that 20-foot line. So the farthest it's going to get is to the edge of the other wall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I will stand against each wall.
Okay.
Fire it towards the center.
Okay. Each time you fire it, it pulls towards a window, but stops just short because of the rope you have on it, or the string you have on it. Except for when you fire it in front of the window, at which point it actually like moves towards the window and it tries to push harder against the window, and you can hear it clang against the very thick glass.
So this is an exterior wall.
Mm-hmm.
The window faces which direction?
The window faces into that alleyway you were just in.
The westward alleyway?
The alleyway that is to the east of the building.
Oh, to the east of the building. Okay, so the window faces east. It's in the alley. This thing. What was that? It's out in the alley. The alley back. All right, I'll head back into the alley.
Yep.
Or head that back out to the outside of the building, standing below.
You're going to stand where in correlation to the building? So the alley is behind the Ministry of Trade building. And when you last fired it, you were in the alleyway to the north of the building. And you fired it and it went south. And then tried to turn slightly.
Then I went east. Okay, that's what I said. Which way is the window facing? North, south?
The window is facing east. Towards the eastward alley.
Okay, so the window's facing east.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in the alley to the east, it fired to the west. So
no, when you're in the alley on the east side, yes, fired towards the west.
West. So
correct.
And the arrow tried to go out the window that was facing east.
Correct.
So now I have 2 points coming towards each other. Somewhere between the wall and the alley is Candor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now standing against the building.
Well, no, not necessarily the alley. And the alley that you measured against that was to the east of this was 300 feet out from here. That was a different alley. The one from the north is the one that the one where you fired at 300 feet from the north is the one where you were standing in the alley.
Oh.
So essentially, let's just use this real quick as a good map of measure, okay? So you're on the town roads here, right? And you were in... Oops, I did not want that to load up the combat noise. Just wanted the map. Stop that. Stop this and replay. So you were in the alley. Let's take Harcourt here. So you were in the alley to the north, and you fired it this way. And let's say this was the Ministry of Trade building right here. Oops. So this was the Ministry of Trade building.
Okay.
So you fired the arrow from the alley here, down the alley. Whoops. You fired the arrow down the alley, and it basically went down the alley. But when you went east, you were basically way out here, and the Ministry of Trade building was essentially here. So then you fired 300 feet, but you only went 130 feet in that general direction. But each time you are 300 feet away from wherever the Ministry of Trade building was. So you triangulated to basically the block that the Ministry of Trade building is on. So there are other buildings around the Ministry of Trade building. So let's actually assume right now, let's make this where the Ministry of Trade building is. Okay? Let me clear out any objects here that don't need to be here. In fact, let's just, So you can position yourself accordingly. We will say that this building here is the Ministry of Trade building. So you can...
The window's east. It should be here facing this way, right?
Yes, that is correct. It is there.
Facing this direction.
Facing this direction.
Right. Okay. It was kind of east. But I was to the east of the building, and it came back towards the...
Right. You were way over here, off the map. You fired it towards the building, and it pulled you towards the building. And when you were way over here, and you fired it towards the building, it came towards the building. But you've never gotten you've never been able to fire one close enough to the building to identify whether or not it was or was not the building. You just know that on this block is where it is.
All right, well then, I guess I will move to...
It's like 300 feet is a crazy long distance.
It's not... Okay.
I mean, these are small buildings that we're talking about. We're talking about buildings that, measure 10 and 20 feet across.
So, somewhere between... Where's the... Measure from that wall to the street where I am now.
Sure. That is 10 feet-ish.
No, from the ministry.
Oh, okay. So from here to there is about 85 feet.
All right. This is going to be so stupid. All right. Standing where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Perception. Check sure watching me.
Oh, yeah. You know that you probably should move down in this alley just to be 100% safe, because you can see a few people in buildings that can see you.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm gonna fire it back towards the ministry.
Okay.
But I'm only gonna put on like 50 feet of string on this.
Okay. That will...
10, 20, 30 foot. That should... Oh, wait, no.
So this is 50 feet. 50 feet will take you to here.
Yeah, no, let's make it 40.
Okay.
That way it'll...
So 40 feet will take you to here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And you fire?
Yeah.
All right. It flies straight, unerringly forward. You can see a door in front of you that is open. And as you fire the arrow, The door slams shut at about the same moment the arrow would have collided with the door. Or would collide with where the door is.
So that building directly in front of me is what you're saying?
It closed the door the minute you fired that arrow. Or the minute the arrow got close enough to it.
This building right
That building right there. Which is actually technically slightly larger than that, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to say that is the building size.
Okay. Packing up the arrow and the bow, and I'm walking up to the door and knocking on the door.
Okay. You knock at the door, and that is where we are going to take our break for the moment.
All right.
I'm sorry to the other players who did not get to play, but stuff is coming. In the meantime, we will be right back.
Hey, everybody.